I'd like to call the meeting to order. If you would stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everyone, and welcome everyone who's watching from home. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee DeVore.
Present.
Trustee Gett.
Present.
Trustee Kazam.
Present.
Trustee Reichert. Trustee Wigginton. And Trustee Weisenberg.
Present.
All right, we do have a quorum with 2 absent. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the Board of Trustees meeting January 7th, 2025. I'd ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Are there any questions on the minutes or corrections to? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it. We be at comments from the audience on agenda items only. If anyone is here tonight to address the board on agenda items, please come forward, give your name and address, and try and keep your remarks under 5 minutes. Comments from the audience. Going once, twice. Comments from the audience are closed. We'd be at old business. Any old business come before the board? All right, let's get into new business. First, I'd like to read a proclamation in honor of Violet Solaski's 100th birthday, which is tomorrow. Whereas Violet Shepard Solaski celebrated her 100th birthday on January 22nd, 2025, whereas Violet was born in the middle of America's jazz age at her parents' Paris Avenue home and named for the color of her eyes, whereas Violet has lived happily ever after at her 1108 East Kingman Avenue home for 83 years, sharing it with those first 49 years with her husband Leo, whereas Violet and her husband raised 4 children, Leo, Robert, Donald, and Rose, whereas Violet also worked outside the home while managing her active brood, delivering the Journal-Star newspaper with her family for more than 2 decades on foot every day to 120 customers. Whereas Violet had a creative streak and a soft spot for children, helping the students at the village's public grade school with their artistic pursuits for many years, while herself taking up oil painting, with several of those works now hanging in her home. Whereas Violet recognized the recreational assets of Peoria Heights well before it became fashionable, taking her children and others from the neighborhood for long hikes down Grandview Drive with the promise of a picnic at the end. Whereas Violet and her husband were longtime Scout volunteers, teaching the children under their tutelage the principles of self-responsibility and service to others. Whereas Violet was the indisputable social queen of her neighborhood with a knack for cooking and baking and an open-door policy for holiday gatherings. Whereas Violet never learned to drive but loved to travel, especially on Peoria charter coach mystery bus trips, where she always made a point of celebrating the birthdays and anniversaries and her vacation mates. Whereas Violet was all about family and friends, noting that none of us is as good as all of us. Whereas Violet's 70-year-old daughter, Rose Finney, deserves special mention because she moved back home from Florida 9 years ago to become a full-time caretaker for her mother, who took care of me, and now it's my turn. Whereas Violet truly loves and appreciates Peoria Heights, her longtime home, especially its close-knit neighborhoods where local families have remained for generations. We, the Village Board and Mayor of Peoria Heights, hereby celebrate not only Violet Solaski's fantastic accomplishment of reaching the century threshold, but Violet herself, while noting that families such as the Solaskis have long formed the backbone of the Village of Peoria Heights, for which we are all the better. So we wish Mrs. Solaski a very happy birthday tomorrow, so wanted to honor her today. All right. Let's get right into the first resolution we have, which is Ordinance 2025-1752, an ordinance authorizing the lease of the Centennial Building owned by the Village of Peoria Heights. Trustee DeVore, I'd ask for a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve Ordinance 2025-1752.
Second.
Thank you. Trustee Weisenberg. Go ahead, Trustee DeVore.
So we know that we've already had a lease agreement for this, and we are just altering the terms of the agreement to
coincide in line with election season. So Senator Kaler is here, so I can ask him to come to the podium and chat with us if you'd like. Let us know what your thought is on it.
Well, thank you very much. Well, we certainly enjoyed, our relationship with the village of Peoria Heights here. We were forced to move, a couple of years ago when they closed the Labor Temple, and so we were fortunate enough to made a phone call to the mayor, and he said, well, I have something you might want to look at, and it has been just truly a blessing. When we bring people in from Chicago or from St. Louis or from Springfield, they often say, well, where do we go to eat? Well, you're right in the spot where the best restaurant row is in the whole central Illinois. So we feel a lot of pride being here. We think it's a good relationship. You've certainly been a good landlord to us, and I hope we've been a good tenant to you. So we'd like to continue that. We had to wait until after the election for me to know that I had 4 more years before we did this, but the time has come. We'd like to re-up the lease.
Thank you, Senator. Anything, Mr. Administrator?
No, they've been great tenants, and as we all know and discussed over the last couple of years, that Senator Kaler has been very instrumental in getting us almost $1 million in grants as well for public safety equipment, among other things. So again, he's not only a great person, but he's been an asset to the village. So we appreciate everything too, Senator.
Yeah, well, thank you. I feel very proud to be able to represent Peoria Heights in the state legislature. So,
Dave, I know since your district has been redrawn, would you mind telling everyone just how far your district goes and some of the cities in your district?
Yeah, so and I have 2 state representatives, Jahan Gordon Booth in Peoria, and then Sharon Chung in Bloomington Normal. So the district includes most of Peoria, not all of it, most of Peoria. It includes Bartonville, and then it goes to the east through Tazewell County. It includes East Peoria, and then it goes over to Bloomington and Normal. So Veterans Parkway, everything west of there is in my district. So it's been great. I spent a lot of time in Bloomington Normal. It's a very different community than Peoria, but it's equally exciting. So I think we've got some real strength and some real things going on here in Central Illinois. But again, Peoria Heights you've got a lot happening here, and I mean the beauty of the place first of all, but just I think the vibrancy of your whole downtown area. It's where I go to eat. So. I think everybody else
Thanks for being here tonight.
Sure.
Thank you.
Any discussion? I too would like to echo what Chief Sutton said. We've got an awful lot accomplished over the last few years. I think it has a lot to do with the plan, but it also has a lot to do with relationships, and it's really difficult to get things done without having relationships in place of people you can partner with and get things accomplished. And I'm bipartisan when it comes to working with federal and state and local officials. It doesn't matter what the party is. We just have to work together to make things better for our community. And Dave, normally when you're here, it's a press conference or some sort of a function. You're usually not here for a meeting. But in my time here, many years here in Peoria Heights, I think you brought more resources to Peoria Heights than just about anyone. That's not short-selling anyone else. We've had Congressman LaHood and Representative Gordon Booth have also been excellent, but your service to Peoria Heights is above and beyond. And I asked you to mention how big your district is because, these funds that the senator is dispersing and overseeing, they're very competitive. And there's lots of other communities, and he mentioned other big communities like Bloomington and Normal and East Peoria and Peoria that are also competing for these funds. So thanks to you, but also congratulations to our staff who work very, very hard because you also have to have a good plan and a good narrative when you're asking for these funds. So thank you.
You have a great staff, and we enjoy our relationship with all of you. We see Chris just about every other day. He comes in and checks the water. But
I hope not for water main breaks.
But really, thank you. Jennifer wants to thank you as well.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Madam Clerk?
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Kazan?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
All right, that passes. Next is approval of a proposal for a storm sewer repair and lining on East Lake Street. Trustee Reichert is absent. Trustee DeVore, could I ask you to approve this, or motion to approve, please?
I make a motion to approve the proposal for a storm sewer repair and lining on East Lake Street.
Is there a second? All right, there is. Thank you, Senator. All right, Trustee DeVore?
I'm going to have Chris explain this to us.
Sure, so this is, if you guys recall, we did the same process over on Glen Elm where a storm drain had caved in, caused a hole in the road. This is the exact same process. This is going from just north of the trail off of Clayton Avenue over to Lake Street, almost to Lake Street, and it's basically the same process. You know, the storm sewer needed lined, there was a sinkhole and it needs to be repaired.
Okay. Discussion or questions? Madam Clerk?
Trustee DeVore,
Aye.
Trustee Gett,
Aye.
Trustee Kazim,
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg.
Aye.
Trustee, or Superintendent Chandler, did you want to mention what your recommendation was? There were two quotes.
Yeah, there were
And
two
which- and
quotes.
Which one we're going with?
J.C. Dillon,
Okay.
Thank you for
Okay.
clarifying that.
sorry, yeah.
All right, that passes. There are 4 items, next is the approval of the consent agenda. There are 4 items on the consent agenda which are routine requests for the use of Tower Park, so I'd ask Trustee DeVore a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All right. Any discussion, or would anyone like to pull anything off from the consent agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
You know what, let's take call the roll on that, please, Madam Clerk.
Trustee DeVore,
Aye.
Trustee Gett,
Aye.
Trustee Kazim,
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg.
All right, thank you, that passes. Now we would be at miscellaneous business. Any miscellaneous to come before the board? Chief, any updates?
I do not have anything to Mayor.
Ben, anything? Sir. All right, Mr. Aldridge?
Just briefly, we did receive through regional planning 7 proposals for our parking studies, so we're working with regional planning on selecting a consultant for that study.
They select the consultant, though, correct?
Yes, but yeah,
our
I
input?
serve on the selection committee.
Okay, all right. Were you surprised by that?
I was to have so many, so very qualified consultants for this, so should be an exciting process, yeah.
Okay, thanks for reporting on that. Superintendent Chandler, anything else on Public Works?
Nope, just a couple snow events that, you know, the guys were out, Public Works crew taking care of the streets, and had a couple water main breaks with the cold weather, but other than that, everything's going okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Any miscellaneous from anyone else? Okay, we have general comments from the audience. If anyone would like to make a general comment to the board on any subject, please come forward, give your name and address, and try and keep your remarks under 5 minutes. General comments are open. Going once, twice. Comments from the audience are closed. We would be at payment of the bills. Madam Clerk? I'm sorry. I'm cold and my game's off tonight, so I would ask for a motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
Second.
Yeah.
All right, you've had a motion to pay the bills. Are there any questions on any of the bills or discussion on the motion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee DeVore,
Aye.
Trustee Gett,
Aye.
Trustee Kazim,
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg.
Aye.
That passes and the bills are paid. All right, Madam Clerk, now the treasurer's report, please.
Yes, as of the end of 2024, the grand total for the village accounts were $10,518,853.78, and the grand total for the water accounts were $2,448,805.03.
You've heard the treasurer's report. I would ask for a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the treasurer's report. Any discussion on the motion or questions on the report? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee DeVore,
Aye.
Trustee Gett,
Aye.
Trustee Kazim,
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg.
That passes. Trustee Gett,
Make a motion to adjourn.
is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it.